Fallen! Grandpa Shield yells, scanning the grass in front of him, as if there weren't just a single pony standing at attention. Blue Blood, for his part, is taking this as seriously as Grandpa as he stands rigid and steely-eyed. Today we'll be molding that bowl of mashed potatoes you call a body into the hardest of root vegetables, and you won't be using alchemy. Are you ready to be a turnip, cadet? Sir, yes, sir, Blue responds, puffing out his chest. Are you ready to train harder than you ever trained in your life? Well, that would be easy since Blue Blood had never done more than run away from angered adults. But I don't mention that as I watch the exchange with amused expression from the comfort of the sidelines. Sir, yes, sir! Are you ready to be so exhausted you seriously contemplate whether getting to the bathroom when nature calls is even worth leaving your bed? A second confusion, then... Sir, yes, sir! Are you ready to work so hard you taste blood in your mouth? Blue Blood hesitated a moment before resolving himself. Sir, yes, sir! Are you ready for every step you take to be unending agony? Sir, yes, sir? Are you ready to run until the lactic acid in your muscles threatens to melt them from your very bones? Dad, please. The children's birthday is coming in a few months, and I'd rather my son not spend it dead. Dad calls from an open window, surveying the interaction with a dry expression. Hey, this is military operation. No civs allowed. Grandpa calls back with narrowed eyes. Unless you're willing to come down here and get back in shape, I don't want to hear it from you. Dad's eyes widen as he breaks out in a cold sweat, gaze going distant in memory. Forget I said anything. Have fun, son. With that, the stallion pulls his head back inside and slams the window shut, leaving a nervous colt and a glaring shield. That's what I thought. Anyway, enough wasting time. Let's get working. Seeing the fear in my brother's eyes, I decided to take pity on him and finally speak up. Grandpa Shield, maybe you should start slow. This is Bluey's first day after all. I suppose it is. The gray stallion agrees, rubbing his chin. After some pondering, he stomps a hoof and exclaims, A warm-up then. It's always good to get the heart beating before a heavy training session anyway, and it will help me give a good idea of where you're at. Looking down at the colt, whose hopes were starting to rise, Grandpa declares, 20 laps around the garden. Well, what are you waiting for? Get to it, recruit! I could see Blue Blood mouthing the words as he counts 14, 15, 16, before crying, But I can't even count that high! How am I going to run that much? Hey, it'll be easy, I said, moving to his side. As much fun as it is to watch my overzealous grandfather in his element, I'd rather not see him break my brother's spirit on day one. He's been looking forward to impressing Grandpa with this ever since he moved in a week ago. I'll even run with you and count the laps. Giving a small but grateful smile, Blue Blood nods, as Grandpa says in his booming voice, You want to join too, Pure Blood? Excellent! The more the merrier. You'll be the strongest last this side of Equestria. Fighting down the urge to roll my eyes, I trot over to the edge of the garden with my brother, and wait for Grandpa to give us a signal. 20 laps would be more than I ever ran in one go, and I'll probably be suffering at least one of Grandpa's colorful descriptions afterwards, but helping Bluey would be worth it. Hopefully he won't get too far ahead of me, since I'll be the one counting the laps. Well, this is surprising, Starwalt thought as he watched his grandfoals finish their warm-up. More accurately, Pure Blood finished. And 20. Whoa, that was exhilarating! Pure stated as she slowed to a stop, though she continued to trot in place for a few seconds as she turned around. Come on, Bluey, you can do it. It's only like 4 or 5 more laps. A blush came to his cheeks. I guess I lost track. Blue Blood was practically crawling at this point, and Shield had to stifle his laughter. He had no intention of pushing the children too hard, much of his speed being fueled by nostalgia than the actual desire to drive them into the ground like his own drill sergeant did when he first enlisted. But he didn't think 20 laps would be that much. Why, Pure Star had energy to spare, it seemed. Okay, that's enough, Cadet. You can stop now. As soon as the words were spoken, Blue Blood collapsed on his side and panted heavily. Are you going to be okay? Do you want me to get you some water or something? Pure Blood asked as she approached her brother, concern plain on her face. Gulping, the colt put up a hoof, silently asking for a moment before he gulped and responded, Just need to catch my breath. A minute later of both Pure and Shield waiting, and little Blue Blood finally started to pull himself to his hoofs. Starwalk could see him try and act dignified, a trait he probably picked up from his father at some point, but the beet-red face and flaring nostrils betrayed him. See? All better. And how are you? Eyes closed as he wiped his sweat-drenched mane from his forehead, and failed to notice his sister roll her own. I'm good. Better, actually. The wide smile returned to her face. That was great. I feel so alive. I want to do another 20. Shield laughed heartily at that, scooping the filly up and tossing her mane. There's no mistaking you're my granddaughter, he said as he laughed died down to a rumbling chuckle. Guess it skipped a generation with your father. Hey! I liked it too, Blue Blood said. I just, had a cramp. Yeah, I can finish my laps now. Without waiting for a response, the colt started sprinting. The heavy breaths he'd been trying to hide returned in full force. To his credit, he made 2 more laps before disaster struck, though maybe Shield should have stopped him before that. No doubt the elder Blue Blood would be chewing him out for this. Mom! Blue Blood is sick! Pure yelled as she ran into the kitchen, causing Ornate to nearly spill the pot of vegetable stew she was stirring. Luckily, Cutting Board, their chef, was there to steady the pot with a hoof, which she quickly whipped back with a yelp. As the stallion shoved the hoof under a stream of cold water, Ornate gave him a brief apology for kneeling to her daughter. Pure was hopping from hoof to hoof, and Ornate had to fight from doing the same. The idea of either foals being ill or injured had her ready to send for a doctor that instant, but she knew it wouldn't do to jump to conclusions just yet. Where is he, sweetie? What happened? Take me to him. Her legs were moving before her lips, and Ornate nearly tripped trying to follow the filly. We were exercising with Grandpa, and I was having a lot of fun, but Blue was getting tired, but tried to pretend he wasn't, and kept running, and then he puked all over and started crying, and I don't know what to do. What? Ornate didn't know what she was matter about, the fact that Shield pushed her son too far when she explicitly told him not to, or that he apparently involved Pure Blood as well. As it was, she ended up overtaking the filly and arriving in the gardens first, and yelling of, What were you thinking? Starward jerked up, the stained washcloth falling from his magical grip, as he met the burning eyes of a furious mother. Little Blue Blood cried louder while his sister stood at the entrance, uncertainly clear in her stance. This isn't as bad as it looks. Isn't it? Because it looks to me like you made my son vomit with your half-brain idea of training. He's a fool, you dolt. He shouldn't be doing more than a few stretches and brisk walks, not whatever you've been subjecting him to. Pushing the much larger stallion aside as if he were the scolded puppy he looked like, Ornate poured her son into her lap and picked up the washcloth. Noticing the ball of water standing open nearby, she raised the cloth and continued to wipe and clean the colt's face and chest. It's okay, child. You'll be better soon. I'm sorry, Little Blue Blood whimpered, his wailing dying down to hiccup and gasp as the morning breath mist was wiped away. I couldn't finish. Hey now, Shield began, stalling only a moment before powering through in the glare Ornate shot his way. I'm not upset with you, lad. We should have started out slower. You don't have to run 20 laps. The colt's cheeks grew redder, and he buried his face in his mother's fur. But I wanna, he mumbled, peeking an eye out. Now you won't want to spend time with me. What? No, you got all wrong, Shield said. You should have seen me on my first day as a fresh recruit. I bumbled up worse than an apple trying to grow pears. I used to get called toilet breath because of how often I was made to clean the latrines with my toothbrush. When Blue Blood peeked out a curious eye, the stallion exclaimed, The bathroom, lad. Blue Blood looked shocked. What? Ew, that's gross! Chuckling, Stalwart said, It was, and I had to do it for the first 2 months before the drill sergeant finally whipped me in good enough shape to keep me up with the rest of my troops. His eyes suddenly became downcast. I'm sorry if I made you think you had to be perfect for me to want to spend time with you. I got carried away, Blue Blood. I want you to have fun with this, with me, not think of it as some sort of test you can fail. When he reached for the full, Ornate let him, and he pulled Bluey into a loose embrace. I just want you to become stronger, to be the best that you can be, and to enjoy yourself while you're doing so. But if you don't want to train anymore after this, I'll understand. Shaking his head violently, Blueblood yelled, "No! I want to spend time with you. I want to be strong. Grandpa, please, can we keep training?" Starwalt's face split into a large grin. "Of course!" he exclaimed, changing from solemn to boisterous in the blink of an eye as he leapt to his hoofs. The attitude quickly mellowed, however, seeing Ornate Garden's stern gaze. Tomorrow, of course. Rest up and we'll start up first thing in the morning. That sounds good to you, soldier?" Blueblood saluted. Only the tear stains on his cheeks left an indication that he'd ever sat. "Sir, yes, sir!" Ornate simply looked from her son to his grandfather before sighing. "Boys," she muttered, standing up and preparing to usher the colt inside to get cleaned up the rest of the way and perhaps replace some of the food he upchucked in the pretense. Before she could, however, a small hoof pressed against her leg. Looking down, she said, "What is it, Pure?" The filly glanced between her mother and the boys before letting her eyes settle on the grass. Would it be okay if I train with Grandpa and Bluey too?" she asked, shuffling her hoofs. "It's fun." While Stalwart began praising the idea, a sharp look had him clamping his mouth shut before Ornate spoke. "I don't think that's a good idea, sweetie. Training can be dangerous and I don't want you to get hurt." Pure looked up, a frown on her face. "But you're letting Blueblood do it? Why is it dangerous for me and not him?" This got the mare to sputter a moment. "Well, wouldn't you rather focus on your books? I mean, Class Act is going to take you to the library next week. I'm sure you'll have plenty to read once you return." Frown deepening, Pure responded, "I can do both, Mom." Hurt into her eyes, she continued, "It's because of my magic, isn't it? You don't think I can do anything because of that?" "No, that's not entirely true." Ornate's argument died on her lips as she saw her daughter sag in defeat, and she couldn't think of what to say. It was true, Pure was a fragile girl, and the idea of her ever getting hurt, even a little, terrified the mare. "I promise not to go overboard again, ma'am," Shield said from the side. "Pureblood will be perfectly safe with me, I give you my word." Looking down to see the hope on the filly's face, Ornate couldn't help but cave. "Okay, Pure, you can spend the mornings with your brother and Grandpa, but I want you to be careful, all of you. I don't want another repeat of today." While the filly cheered, hugging her leg before running over to the same to Starwalt, Ornate really hoped she wouldn't regret her decision. Another scare like that one she got from when Pure came yelling into the kitchen and she started to go to grave before the mare even hit 30. "Isn't this great, Blueblood? We're going to train together!" Pure cheered. The colt smiled through with far less enthusiasm. "Yeah, that's great." Pure tilted her head for a moment, but shrugged before giving her grandfather what sort of things they'll be doing. She didn't see her brother's smile fall. "Something is definitely up with Blueblood, and I'm pretty sure it has to do with me. When Mom had agreed to let me train with him and Grandpa, I thought he'd be excited as I was. His smile seemed a bit strained at that time, but I figured it was just his stomach still bothering him, and so didn't think much of it. An upset stomach wouldn't last this long, though. I mean, sure, I don't even know if it was possible to puke from too much exercise. How would I? Too much exercise was never on my laundry list of health concerns before, so I never thought about it. But the way Blueblood had been avoiding my gaze is probably not from tummy aches. We just finished dinner and we're now in our playroom having some time before bedtime to enjoy each other's company, or at least we should be. Instead, Blueblood is sitting so far away from me as possible, back turned as he fills with some of his tin soldiers. Usually this would be the time I read a book with him and he would practice reading the words. He'd never get more than a few, but he was always so proud of himself after. "Bluey, do you want to read this book with me?" It's about a caterpillar eating all sorts of things and frankly being quite wasteful. I looked down at the page of a worm simply eating a hole straight through an apple before moving on to the next meal. What a waste of perfectly good fruit. Good for him, the cult mumbles, not turning his head. Okay, enough of this. Blue Blood, are you mad at me? I asked, trying to be firm, but struggling to keep the quiver from my voice. We've been upset with each other before, but Blue's never given me the cold shoulder for more than a few minutes until now, and it's worrying. Blue Blood peeks at me before looking away again. It was supposed to be for me. What? It was going to be our time, just Grandpa and me. You weren't supposed to do it too. I see his shoulders tense as his voice tightens. And you weren't supposed to be better than me. Finally turning to face me, I flinch at the glare he directs my way. You're already the smart one. Mom and Dad talk about it all the time, so why can't I be the strong one? Why do you have to be better than me? What? Bluey, I'm not better than you, I say affronted. I thought you'd be happy that we can do this together. I would have been if you didn't beat me. It wasn't a race. Yes, it was. Colt shouts with the stomp of his hoof. I was trying to beat you, but you kept getting more and more ahead, and then you started lapping me. Now Grandpa is going to train you, won't even pay attention to me anymore. Grandpa isn't like that, I say, trying to organize my thoughts. When did this even start? When did he even start caring so much about me being smart? I thought we got past it when we started taking our reading together seriously. This isn't a competition. Yes, it is, he interrupts, knocking his tin soldiers over. I was going to be better than you at something, but you beat me at that too. You and Mom always reading books I can't read, or stupid class act comes over and makes me do the stupid plays with you, and you always know all your lines, and I keep getting told I'm doing it wrong. Then it was going to be mine and Grandpa's shields just for me. But now I have to share it with you, and you're better at it than me again! I stare wide-eyed as the colt huffs, mane wild after his tantrum. Thinking back, I do regret always guilting him into playing along with class and me when she visits. Having known he didn't find the same enjoyment from theater as we did, and I did rub it in when I shouldn't have when I was smarter than him. Spending time with Mom reading was hardly something for him to get mad about, but I can at least see his point. I understand why he's mad, but that doesn't stop my own blood from boiling. Magic! What? He asked, some of his anger turning to confusion. What about magic? You have magic. You and Dad go outside and practice all the time, picking flowers around or throwing rocks. I can't do that, any of that, but I've never been mad that you could. I stand and march over to him, jabbing in the chest hard. And I want to do those things. I wanted to be able to do magic with Dad, for him to tell all his friends how good I am instead of being the smart girl with a useless horn on her head. Flustered, Blue Blood tries to argue. But it doesn't make me special doing magic like you being smart does. No pony even thinks it's cool when I do magic. All the grown-ups always talk about you. At least you can get smarter, I countered. I'm even trying to help you. And you know what? You can get stronger too. And faster. That's the point of training with Grandpa, isn't it? But you know what can't change? Me doing magic. I'm ashamed of the tears building in the corner of my eyes, but no amount of rage could prevent them. I can't learn that. No amount of hard work will let me lift things with my mind, or teleport, or do any of that crazy, amazing stuff that you'll be able to do someday. Blue Blood, you're gonna be great, and I want you to be, but I don't want to have to be nothing just to avoid you hating me. Falling to my rump, the last of my anger evaporates and I feel drained. I don't want to be just a burden to every pony around me. Not again. Not like last time. The room goes quiet, save for my sniffles and the shuffling of hoofs on carpet. I don't know what my brother is thinking, if he's still angry, but I can't muster the will to look. What am I supposed to do? I'm sorry, Blueblood whispers in my ear as he wraps his hoof around my shoulder. Bluey, I whispered back surprised. I thought you hated me. His hug tightens as he repeats, I'm sorry. Nothing else is said as we remain like that for several minutes. Relief floods my heart as I hug my brother back, an apology already on my lips for yelling, but Blueblood ends up being the first to break the silence. I don't want you to be nothing. You're so much fun. He begins pulling away to wipe the moisture from his cheeks. I like reading with you, and eating snacks with you, and playing with you, and I like training with you too. I can tell Grandpa I changed my mind, I offer, wiping my own face dry. I can just be the two of you, like you wanted. I can see it in his eyes, his desire to say yes, and it hurts a little, knowing he doesn't want me around, that he will see me as a burden, but I'm willing to make him happy. That's why I'm surprised when he suddenly shakes his head and gives a firm no. What? I want you to train with me and Grandpa. But I thought, Grandpa will be sad if you don't do it. Well, that was probably true, though I'm sure the stallion would get over it soon enough. I was going to say as much before Blueblood continued, suddenly leaping to his hoofs and radiating in determination. I'll just have to train really hard till I'm the best. Despite all that has happened, I can't help but sigh. Bluey, it's not a competition. Why can't we just have fun and help each other? He deflates a little, looking sheepish. Oh, right. Okay. We'll train together and be the best, but I'ma be the better. Ignoring the mumbled bit at the end and the eye roll, I say, right, we'll help each other get stronger. Yeah, and I'm gonna help you use magic, my brother declares, getting a nervous look from me. I don't think that works that way. Sure it does. I'll help you learn how to use your horn just like you teach me how to read. Grandpa says hard work can make anything possible, so we just need to work hard. He's so confident in his logic that I know I won't be able to persuade him otherwise, so instead I simply agree. He'll probably change his mind or forget about it in a couple weeks anyway, so what's the harm? Great! He shouts, throwing a hoof in the air and waving it for several seconds. So, want to start now? Smirking, I point over to where I was sitting before. Why don't you just read the book for now instead? It's too close to bedtime to start any rigorous training. With an awkward agreement, we end up laying side by side with the book between us, as I help Blueblood sound out the words, and we berate the jerk caterpillar. Cherry pie was no good now the whole eating through it. It would just have to go in the trash. That fiend. The harrowing story of an evil bug and the final loop-de-loop of what turned out to be an enormous roller coaster of a day, and the two of us simply snuggled each other and slowly fall asleep. One thing my old life had over this one was that it was less hectic. What with spending days on end with nothing but my thoughts, ceiling tiles, and some books for company. Pulling the warm body close to me with a smile, I wouldn't trade this for anything.